104.9. Here we are then. Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Raring to go. He's a bit grumpy, Karl. Woken up at 8 o'clock.
Because he's from the north.
Yeah, because he's in London.
Yeah.
And London's rubbish, right, isn't it? Oh. Where can you can't even get a Band-Aid in London, can you? Or grouting. In Manchester, I could walk to the next shop and definitely get some Flash, or maybe some Vim. You can't get it down there. You gotta go to a trendy bistro, haven't you? Karl, why are you grumpy?
I told you before, I'm just a little bit tired today. 'Cause
he had to get up, but the builders next door woke him up.
No.
He's always going about his hours. Those builders probably got up at 6.
Yeah, but
to
I
get
can
there
understand builders who get up early because they're building outside and they've got to get the job done before it gets dark, but he's working in someone's lounge. If it gets dark, put the light on. It's not a problem. So why is he starting work at like 7 o'clock in the morning?
Well, because the builders get paid by the day. And if you get a builder and go, I'll just do 11 till 3, he's not going to go, I'll tell you what, love, just give me 40 quid. I didn't do a whole day. It's a day's work, isn't it? So you want to get the most out of them, don't you?
Plus, he probably wants to finish early so he can have a good night out.
Yeah, it's a Saturday night, you know what I mean? He wants to...
Yeah, he wants to get at least 15 pints in.
And he was cheery, I bet he was whistling and, you know, dancing around and tapping, you know, so I don't know how you can be annoyed at that. Why don't you get earplugs?
I don't like it, the idea of earplugs.
Why?
Because I live in a flat, so it's not as if I'm looking after my house, right?
Already, I've lost you.
No.
That wasn't even a whole sentence, and I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but what I mean is...
What?
If you live in a house, right, you know that you've turned the lights off downstairs, you know you haven't got a frying pan on, right?
Right, okay,
so,
not really.
Keep him going.
But I live in a flat, and I don't know what the other people are like. There might be some daft people in there who don't...
imagine that.
Right, who don't turn stuff off. Now, if I have earplugs and the fire alarm's going off, I'm not going to hear it. I'm going to have a good sleep, but who knows what could happen? So I don't like earplugs. It's not safe.
Okay.
If you live in a block of flats.
But I think you'll find, because I've used them, I think you'll find that a fire alarm will cut through
I wear them
earplugs.
sometimes if it's noisy or I want to go to bed early or something, and I hear my alarm clock, and it goes beep 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 beep. It's that loud.
Okay, well...
And a fire alarm is deafening.
Alright, so we've talked in the past about snails who sleep for 13 years.
No, you have. That's never been confirmed. In fact, the expert hadn't heard of it.
Well, they do.
Okay.
I read it on different sites.
Okay.
So how much does it take to wake them up? Got you.
What do you mean?
Well, they sleep for 13 years.
Yeah, but it's probably... But I don't know what you mean by sleep. It's not the same sort of pattern that we have in a mollusk, is it? There's different... What is sleep? It's
when you're sort of shut down, and...
But they can estivate. They can actually literally
shut down. No, but they didn't say that. They said they sleep for 13 years. And I mean... Have you ever had, like, more than 10 hours sleep?
Yeah.
Feel really groggy?
Well, no, I feel good after 10 hours sleep.
I feel rough. I just was thinking what a snail would be like. Be like, oh...
Be even slower than normal.
Be even slower than you. Play a record.
Well, anyway.
Email in if you know what on earth Karl's talking about.
Ever.
Yeah. Don't erase none of that good shit.
The rhyme came from the pressure of heat when it was laid out on the ground and paved streets.
Wu-Tang Clan. Uzi on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. We've got a lot to get through. We've got things like Radiohead to play. We've got Feeder. We've got Teenage Fan Club. You know, we've got 2 new competitions, Steve.
Go on.
A great one coming up. A film competition.
I'm excited.
That's great. And a music-based competition.
Is it right to say that Rockbusters is no longer?
We've still got Rockbusters.
Really?
It's hanging on by the skin of its teeth.
I thought we got rid of that. I thought we'd all agreed that we got rid of that rubbish.
No, I think we should do it. I think people like
Nobody wants it.
It's because he got his name in Heat now. It's
No,
Ricky Gervais,
honestly.
Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington, and the Heat said they like Rockbusters. That's why.
Karl, I thought we had a meeting and we
pandering.
agreed that it was not going to happen anymore.
He's worried about the fans.
There's a guy here emailed in. He just emailed in 3 band names. He said, I may as well email in now on the off chance these are right, because it's such an arbitrary quiz.
Yeah.
It's essentially a waste of time. The clues are so complicated.
D. Frida Payne. That was a classic. That was a classic Rockbuster, wasn't it?
When they start getting a bit ridiculous and that, and people aren't getting them, then we'll...
You can't drink that pop now. Shaka Khan.
No.
That was another piece of genius.
Well, I think we've already reached that stage, Karl, to be
I've
truthful,
only
mate.
just got in this river, and there's loads of logs. Justin Timberlake, he said river. Lake, he said river. Lake, he said river. Just few of the highlights of Rockbuster.
Can you please promise that this is the last one today? Because it's really, I think it's bringing the show down.
Steve, he can't promise he'll remember the answers today. How can he promise what's going to happen next week?
I still think it's got legs in it. Let's just see how it goes next week.
You're not going to bring it back next week. It's got to be finished. We've got to put an end to it. We've got to give it a sort of final sending off.
Okay, I'll tell you
We've got to smother it, Carl, for its own good.
I do want to trial this new film quiz we've got, because it's, I mean, I'm excited. I think it's the best competition we've come up with, to be quite honest. I mean, Carl, you agree, don't you?
It's alright, yeah.
Yeah, it's a film-based quiz.
Right.
We'll play you a clip from a classic film. I can tell you the film we're going to play. It's The Sixth Sense.
Right.
And there'll be a question afterwards, and you can win The Sixth Sense.
On DVD?
Yeah. Not the ability to sort of tell when someone's behind you, but just this film. You know. Do you believe in sort of like extrasensory sort of perception and stuff, Carl?
Ghosts and that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Not ghosts, no, the fact that people maybe can sense, beings.
There was a woman in on the Christian's breakfast show, right?
Yeah.
Blind woman.
Right.
Clairvoyant.
Is that her name?
Forgot. But she was a bit useless.
She's a bit useless.
I'm always worried about what's going to come out of
I'm
Carl's
worried
mouth.
what you mean. What?
Do you know what I mean?
She's a bit rubbish at being a clairvoyant.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think if you're not that good at something, don't go on the radio and do it.
Carl, you better leave.
So, what, sorry.
Well, she was saying,
So
like,
what was the relevance of her being blind? What was that for? What did you
I
tell me?
just thought it was a bit weird. I think she was using that because the fact that she can't see living people, but she can contact the dead ones.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, this is XFM 104.9. Once again, Carl's opinions do not necessarily reflect
those of any human being.
Any other person alive today.
Sorry, Carl, so how did she demonstrate her clairvoyance, and why was it not very convincing?
She was sat in the chair you're at, right? And people called up and said...
I sensed that.
Weird.
They called up and they said, right, can you have a word with me gran?
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, she's dead, isn't she? And it's like, yeah. He goes, ooh, and everyone's like, ooh, she knows her stuff.
It was 50-50 to be fair.
Yeah, and especially with a gran, because the person sounded about 35, so the chances are they haven't got a gran anymore.
Yeah.
And it was just
unless it's the fellas from Busted, because they, in the year 3000, they've only got to a great-great-granddaughter, and that's 1,000 years, so presumably, you know, they can live a lot longer.
Yeah. I just wasn't convinced anyway. I don't want to diss her, because, you know, she came in and she did her stuff, and if people believe in it, I'm not going to put it down, but it just was a little bit
You
odd.
believe in it? You just think she didn't have the real power, as opposed to it being rubbish.
No, whatever. But yeah, I don't know what we were talking about there. So we've got the film thing going.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Film.
What were you talking about earlier about glasses as well, and Steve taking his glasses off? What was that?
What are you saying that in front of him now for?
Was it an insult?
It wasn't really an insult.
Carl, what were you up to?
No, what was it? I genuinely don't remember. I genuinely don't remember.
Right, Steve, I'm not having a go. Right? Just saying how people, it's a bit weird that you've got glasses because you've got a good pair of eyes on you. Right? That isn't an insult.
What were you talking about though? What was it? Why did
it was the fact that people who wear glasses always look a bit weird without them on. It's like, you know, they should wear glasses.
Okay. Why did we get round to this? What was we talking about? What were we talking about?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that was.
It sounds like an insult, even it wasn't intended as well.
It wasn't.
It sounds like an insult, Carl.
It does, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
I should be allowed to punch you every time you insult me now.
No, but I'm not.
I'm doing it. I'm going to give you a dead arm.
Look, Steve, it's you. You always
even if it wasn't, you intended it to be one.
What you?
Oh, that was real. Play a record.
Yeah, but
it's mad.
Every time you insult me from
That's mad. Oh, is this the Cardigans? Great, brilliant.
I didn't even say anything.
It makes me feel better. I can enjoy the rest of the show.
Cardigans, and for what it's worth, in my opinion, one of the best things I've done for many a year. It's XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington.
I sometimes wish you spoke like that for real, because I wouldn't leave the studio with a headache then. There you are, see, it's just come stinging back.
Oh dear.
A lot of people sort of, I meet people in the street, they go, I wish I was Ricky Gervais's mate. No, you don't. Let me put your mind at rest now. You're not missing anything, am I right, Carl?
Who says that walking along the street?
No, people.
With that element said.
They shout out.
What are you thinking? Oh, just thinking. I wish I was Ricky Gervais's mate.
No, I've met people that are friends of friends.
There we go. He must be fun to be
Yeah,
with.
exactly. He must be a great
in an
laugh.
enclosed space.
Yeah.
In an echoey small
Oh,
space.
imagine sharing a prison cell with Ricky.
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it, Carl? Oh, that would be fantastic. Well, I'd be the daddy, wouldn't I?
I hate it.
The suicide rate in the prison would shoot through the roof.
Yeah. Now come over here and suck mummy's. Now listen.
What do you reckon, Carl, to being Ricky's friend? Did you find that an exhilarating experience, something that you enjoy and look forward to?
It's alright for about an hour, and then anything over that is when he's just messing about and he wants to hit me on the head with a tray.
We went for lunch yesterday, didn't we? That was more than an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we had a drink in the week, didn't we? That was more than an hour, wasn't it?
That was a good...
Is he okay when it's just the two of you? Because I find as soon as there's a third person,
Well, yeah, just to give you...
he just starts showing off.
Well, there's a little bit of that, right? But I went out with Ricky, like you said, right, for a drink in the week. And, I went home, and Suzanne, the girlfriend, said, where have you been? I said, I've been out for a drink with Ricky. Yeah, you've been out for a while. What have you been talking about? I sort of sat there for a minute and thought, there's nothing that I can tell her we've been talking about that she'll show any interest in. She said, well, you must remember something. I said, I can't. She goes, no, something, just anything that you were talking about. What are you talking about? I said, right. The one I remember, one of the topics that came up was, imagine that the only way to have a kid was you had to sleep with a squid. How many kids would you have?
I would say it was the future and the squid's taking over, but the only way they could do it now is like a filter. You had to sleep with a squid. I was going, would you? He was going, what do you mean? I was going, would you? He said, there's not a time he hasn't gone home with a conversation, buzzing in his head that he got confused about.
Would anyone want a kid that much?
Does the child look like a squid when you have it, or is it
No,
a
it's
regular
not.
kid?
I was going, no, it's normal, but it's like a filter with a system. The only way you can do it to make sure, you have to impregnate the squid, and it's a filter, and then you can, test tube baby in the future.
Did the busted lads mention that in the song Year
He
3000?
did, but he live underwater, that's where I got it
Yeah.
from. I said, well, you probably sort of like get quite friendly with them eventually. You probably would be breeding with the squids and,
So what
prawns.
does Suzanne make of Gervais? Has she met him a few times?
Yeah, she just said, she can understand why we sort of get on, because we both sort of come up with daft stuff all the time, and...
Yeah.
But I'm quite happy to have a discussion.
I
about
love the
something.
way that it talks about his partner like the adult.
Well,
like we're
that's
the
how I
two
see
kids
it.
that go out playing,
That's
talking
how-
about squids.
That is exactly how I see Suzanne. It's like, if she wasn't there, I don't think you'd get out of the house in the morning.
Well,
You'd have tied your shoelaces together.
Yeah, you'd have your earplugs
You'd have forgotten
in,
to put your trousers
the
on.
fire alarm would be going off, and, someone would have left a frying pan on, the builders would be sort of like throwing you round.
Yeah, I imagine she
And
makes you like a
put
round
me
of
down.
sandwiches.
Well, she's noticed that I don't ask as many questions now. Because, last night was one of the first times in ages that I'd asked her something, right?
What did you ask?
Where's the bathroom?
No, right, do you know, I'm always thinking stuff when I'm bored, right? if it's when I'm washing up or what have you.
Yeah.
And, last night, she was watching, that Midsummer
Murders.
Midsummer Murders, right? I don't like it, I think it's rubbish, right? So,
Another thing you've got in common then.
No, but do you know what I mean? But I'll let her watch it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She really likes
He
it.
was
so-
standing, he's watching the microwave, she was going, Carl, no, this is
exactly.
the telly. This is the telly.
Wait a minute, this chicken's gonna come
I've
round
seen
any
this
second.
before, it comes round again in a minute. Carl, what's the washing machine, Carl?
So she's watching it, loving it and that, and I'm bored because it's just, it's a boring programme. So I'm sort of looking through magazines that we've got.
Trying to find animals without heads.
And it was in one of her magazines, and there's this article, right, about these identical twins, brothers, right, and one of them meets this girl, right, and it turns out she's got an identical...
I've heard this is true.
Right.
They get married.
She's got an identical sister.
Right. So, they both go out.
So two identical twins, male, going out with two identical twin sisters. Yeah.
So I was looking at it going, oh, that's weird, because you see them, they're always wearing the same cardigans and that, and that's like...
But then,
That's
no,
alright.
but if you're an identical twin, then you probably would fancy the same sort of person, wouldn't you?
But then, I was asking, she was going, it's getting near the, the plot, the murderer. If they had a kid, would they look the same?
Yeah.
Would
Well, not necessarily, because it depends on what genes are passed over. Even though they've got the same exact sets of genes, that you don't pass on all the genes, do you? It's 50-50, but you don't pass on exactly the same genes in each sperm, let alone with an identical twin.
Yeah, but even though you don't do that, like my brother and sister don't look like me, but
No.
you know they were related.
Because they share 50% of your
And they
father's
talk
genes.
gobbledygook.
Yeah. No, you share 50% of your father's genes and 50% of your mother's, but not the same 50% on 2 occasions.
I think you completely
lost him
lost
already.
it.
I've lost him already.
When you brought in the word genes,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
thought you was thinking,
yeah.
what
No,
was
they
the
wouldn't
trousers for?
necessarily. They wouldn't necessarily, no. They could do by
Did
sheer
Suzanne
chance.
look at you like Oliver Hardy looks at Stan Laurel when he's just like nailed his hand to a wall or something?
She went, ask Ricky tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
and then turned up John Nettles.
then turn it up.
Yeah.
That's glorious.
Oh, that is brilliant. I think there's I heard a story once where 2 sets of Siamese twins married. What if you fancied the one on the left?
Yeah. What if one of them was having an affair behind the other one's back? That'd be difficult to conduct, wouldn't it? You better show off he's waking up.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing down there? What are you doing down there?
Nothing, there's no one down here.
Well, I think there is, because I can see her sister here.
No.
Well, what's she doing? What's she
No,
doing?
they just-
She's covering for her. What are you covering for him for? He's your husband. Is my wife down there?
I read something about some Siamese twins.
Go on.
And, one of them was saying, you know, we get on each other's nerves and that.
The other one was going, we don't.
Yeah. I didn't know this.
Yeah, I've never liked you. I've never liked you.
One of them was going, oh, you know, I hate doing the washing up, but I let her do it. And the person doing the interview said, well, why don't you help out? Just dry up and get the job done quicker. And she was like, no, I can't stand it. I prefer just to hang around there and wait for the other girl
Yeah,
to do the washing up on her own rather than help and get the job done.
sure.
Just selfish.
Well, there was one set of Siamese twins. One had a job and the other one didn't.
That's ludicrous.
Yeah, the other one was unemployed. The other one had a job. She had to go to work. She had to get up at 6 o'clock on her day
I'm
off.
supporting you, literally.
Yeah.
Then they get done off the social for sort of...
Yeah, because the other one was signing on.
Are you living together? We're not. We're not. We're not. We're not. Feeder, just the way I'm feeling, on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve and Karl.
Alright.
Just having a whale of a time, both of them. They love being in this room with me for 2 hours. That is their favourite part of the week, I think, isn't it? I haven't said that, but I'm assuming they love it. Right, competition time. Brand new competition we come up with. My favourite we've ever done, I'll be honest. And a great prize, the 6 cents. You get a clip of a great film, and then you get to keep the great film. Now, I'll just explain this competition. I think Karl is a little bit of a frustrated actor, and so, by the power of technology, Karl takes the role in a film, and there's a question about it afterwards. This is a scene starring Karl Pilkington from The Sixth Sense.
Jeez, I hope nobody got hurt.
Be alright.
You're very quiet.
I'm just thinking about stuff. That's all.
You're mad I missed the play, aren't you?
A little bit annoyed, to be honest. Went down a storm playing the drums in Little Donkey, but your loss.
I'd give anything to have been there.
Well, you wouldn't, because you didn't, but like I say, it's your loss, isn't it? Anyway, I'm just quiet because I'm thinking about stuff, like I said, right? I'll make a big deal out of it.
What is it?
Well, I was just thinking, what would happen, right, if you put a chameleon on a mirror? How would it handle that? It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Oh, you're scaring me.
That's scaring you. This'll scare you, right? The other day, saw two old men sat there having a Twix. You never see that, do you, old fella? having a Twix.
You see ghosts, Cole?
No, just the old fellas having a Twix, but...
They talk to you?
No.
They tell you to do things?
No, because they were too busy eating, but... What's that got to do... What are you looking like that for? Do you think I'm some sort of freak or something? Is that...
I would never think that about you.
Well...
Ever.
No.
Got it?
Alright.
Well...
So it's a very chilling scene, that.
That is great. Oh, that is fantastic.
It's a very spooky scene from the film The Sixth Sense. Rick, I think you've got a question.
Well, yeah, I mean, Karl played it wonderfully there, the role of the child that sees weird stuff. But who played the original role? What was the name of the child actor who played the original role?
It's email only, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. You can win a copy of The Sixth Sense. But I think we can probably play it again later for those that missed it, or those that caught the tail end, or those that need another reminder.
Yeah, you got get your, it's 15-20 minutes, get your answers in, we'll pick a lucky winner, and then we'll play it again, because I think that I think Karl can go to Hollywood with some of the things I've seen there.
Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. I'm
going to play a track now. We tried to play it a couple of weeks ago, but it jumped, so I got a new CD of it. It's Papa Garcia, and this is Natalie and Nusi. Natalie and Nusi by Papa Garcia. Well, we've had lots of emails already. In fact, my favourite one is a suggestion of the name of that feature, specific to today's, is the Twix Sense.
Indeed.
Which, was great. And feel free to send in your suggestions, because we're going to try and do one a week, a classic film, with Karl in an important role. But if you want to, see Karl as maybe as, Michael Corleone in The Godfather, send in, we'll see what we can do, won't we, Karl?
And don't imagine that it has to be a male character. I imagine that you could play, for instance, Sharon Stone's role in Basic Instinct.
I don't imagine it has to be a human. I mean, an animate object.
He might be better suited.
He'd be very good as a rock.
Yeah.
Or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're gonna pick up something we spoke about before. We're gonna announce we're gonna play that again in a few minutes. But Karl wants to put the record straight, don't you? Karl's fed up with when he comes up with something that's a little bit fantastic and far-fetched and wrong, that we take the mickey out of him. So he's brought in some hard evidence of the story, haven't you?
No, do you know, I find stuff on the internet and that, right? And I come in and tell you about it, and you go, that's rubbish.
Yeah.
And then you'll say, show your workings, which I've never liked doing.
No.
When teachers say that, I hate that.
Yeah.
Because I normally can't.
No.
I've always gone...
He's just got the answer's 5, and I go, no, I asked for the capital of China. The answer's 5.
Yeah.
But, right, so... We started a feature a couple of weeks ago, chimpanzee that, the thing about monkeys and stuff.
Let's just play the jingle, right? Oh, chimpanzee that!
Yeah. Right, we started that.
That's facts about apes, isn't it? And
monkeys, chimps, whatever. Yeah. And I told you a story about a monkey that was in a zoo.
Yeah.
And it got pally with the zookeeper.
Right, yes.
Remember?
It moved into his house, didn't it?
Yeah.
And didn't it ultimately have an affair with his wife?
Yeah, it liked a little brandy at night and a cup of tea in the morning, then he went to work and it moved in on its wife.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I read that in a book.
Yes.
Right? But then I was looking for some more monkey stuff online the other day, and I found the same story.
Right.
From a different source.
Okay.
Which is always a good sign.
And it's corroborated what you claimed, is it?
Kind of. There you go.
It's not a different source, though, is it? It's someone who read the same thing as you and printed it themselves.
I left out a fact. His name's Oliver.
What, the monkey?
So I got that wrong, yeah. The monkey's called Oliver. Can you see that, Steve?
Oh, yes.
Right.
There's a picture of him here.
Do you want to read it?
Now, do you, where is this from, then?
I was looking for world famous monkeys online, and it...
www.apenaut.org. This is someone who, in America, who set up a sort of similar website to...
I don't know where he is, but... Yeah.
Okay, he was originally brought into the US with 12 other chimpanzees, but immediately stood out as different. He learned to drink, enjoy coffee and beer, and smoke cigars. In the evenings, he would sit on a sofa and watch television. If his caregivers were out of coffee, he would walk into the kitchen, pour a cup, and take it into the den. As he got older, he made sexual advances on the wife, and as a result was sold.
I reckon it was a stowaway. And to not get caught, he pretended to be a monkey.
Yeah.
Whereas really he was just a
That would make
fella.
sense, because the final line is, he's now living in retirement in Texas.
Yeah.
But my only query, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, is that it doesn't really give much more information. I mean, someone who's set up a website like this, I'm worried that, what I'm saying is I'm worried he's kind of an American twin of you. Do you know what I mean? Do you see what I mean by that? There's no real hard evidence. There's no kind of dates. There's no references to where he was specifically or what zoo he was in.
Karl Pilkington.
Yeah.
From Dallas. Hi. We're cousins.
Why do you need to know all that? The story's
What
there.
do you mean, why does he need to know all that? Why not accept it? Because another fella reckons a chimp moved in on someone's wife.
What I'm saying is, he could be as much of a nutter as you. Do you see what I mean?
What do you mean? He is.
Yeah, exactly.
What, and go to that much trouble of, like,
Yes.
sorting out a website and that?
You host a radio show, for goodness sake. To spout your idiocy. Setting up a website's hardly anything. You've had to get a job.
He was stressed yesterday because we want to do another chimpanzee that. Have we got a new story coming up for chimpanzee that?
Yeah.
He was stressed yesterday because he said, I'm really overworked, I'm really getting fed up. He said, I haven't even sorted out the story about this monkey. He said, how overworked am I that I haven't even got time to sort out a story about a monkey? You know how much I love that.
Rick, do you think there's any way we could lure Oliver out of retirement to come over and produce this show?
I think we probably could.
I'm parched for a cup of coffee. Would you pop to the kitchen?
We're going to play a bit of Springsteen.
Oh, I'm loving it.
For Martin Freeman, he said, please play some Springsteen or Bowie. I'm trying to get him into Motown, but he only likes Level 42.
Yeah.
But this is it, and not Carl, probably.
Exactly.
I asked the question there.
Yeah.
We're going to play it again, because people want to hear it again, and then we will give the winner's name, and they will win that copy of it.
Carl in the Sixth Sense.
Jeez, I hope nobody got hurt.
Be alright.
You're very quiet.
I'm just thinking about stuff. So.
You're mad I missed the play, aren't you?
A little bit annoyed, to be honest. Went down a storm playing the drums in Little Donkey, but your loss.
Like, if anything, to have been there.
Well, you wouldn't, because you didn't, but like I say, it's your loss, isn't it? Anyway, I'm just quiet because I'm thinking about stuff, like I said, right? I'll make a big deal out of it.
What is it?
Well, I was just thinking, what would happen, right, if you put a chameleon on a mirror? How would it handle that? It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Cole, you're scaring me.
That's scaring you. This'll scare you, right? The other day, saw two old men sat there having a Twix. You never see that, do you? Old fella having a Twix.
You see ghosts, Cole?
No, just the old fellas having a Twix, boy.
They talk to you?
No,
They tell you to do things?
no, because they were too busy eating. But what's that got to do? What are you looking like that for? Do you think I'm some sort of freak or something? Is that?
I would never think that about you.
Well,
Ever.
No.
Got it?
Alright.
Oh, there you
extraordinary.
go. And so the question was, who played the original role of that kid in the car who saw strange things? And the answer is Steve.
Haley Joel Osment, of course,
Yeah.
who is a talented young performer, but I don't think really has anything on Karl Pilkington, who I think made that scene even more chilling and
Yeah.
more atmospheric than the original.
Definitely.
And we'll give this to, let's see, I think it's Francis Marnie, who's emailed in. He or she said, I don't know if it's a he or she, but says that basically...
I is male, and he is... No,
Oh, well, I think it's a
I
bloke.
is female, and Frances or I don't
Francis,
know, do
anyway,
I?
that could be a fake name, who knows. But let's assume it's a he. He says he's a sad little nerd who, it was his birthday yesterday, and only his mum remembered, even his best friend forgot.
Definitely a bloke.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really relate to life as a bit of a loser, a bit of a nerd, so I don't really know what he's talking about, but I imagine a lot of our audience do, so let's give it to him as sort of...
I imagine he's a little four-eyed geek.
Oh,
little lanky.
loser.
Yeah.
Actually, as I look again, I notice he's not even got the name right. He spelled it Haley Joel Osment.
Oh.
Instead of Osment. But, so he really is pathetic. I mean, what a pathetic little
Actually,
weasel.
well, totally fun now. Now we humiliated him. Don't give him the prize. Give it to someone else.
Well, it's on TV tonight anyway on ITV,
No,
so
no, well
just
done,
watch it
Francis, thank you for listening, and well done for spotting who Karl was trying to...
And whatever girl you fancy at school, ask her out. Say, come back to my place, watch The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
She'll love it, and you'll be guaranteed a share.
Why do you assume he was at school?
I don't know, because his spelling is terrible. Although I'm looking at Karl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just such a very badly put together email, I just assumed it was a kid.
Right.
Well, if he is a kid now, and he's going through formative years, he's probably really... I never dreamt it was a kid.
Really?
I feel a bit bad now.
Well, you thought it was a sort of 25-year-old loser,
Yeah.
even more pathetic in a way.
Yeah. And now I'm worried that, you know, you've embarrassed an adolescent live on, well, one of the biggest radio stations in the building. It's not even the biggest radio station in the building. I can't believe that. It's the smallest radio station in this building.
Right, now we've done that, right, are we doing a proper competition?
Yeah.
Setting up the old,
Rockbusters, your favourite, isn't it?
Well, let's play a tune before. I don't think I can face that
Well,
straight
it's just
away. I
that
need a break.
we've also got... That song sounds alright. Aren't we? Another new feature.
That song sounds good.
Can I just say before we play a record that we've had an email from Dickie Anderson.
Dickers!
Richard Anderson.
Oh, Dickster, you Dicky Docky Dido, are ya?
If you're a new listener, then you won't have come across Richard before, but
he loves the show.
He's our biggest fan.
He's a bit of a... and he loves the show. He tapes it and listens back to it 4 or 5 times.
But the great thing about him is he's not afraid to offer a bit of constructive criticism.
Oh, well, yeah, go on, what's he said?
Well, all I'm going to say to you is he said, is it true that companies are now getting rid of hold music and are instead using your show to irritate their customers while they're waiting on the phone? I don't know. We'll look into that, Dickie, but thanks for that.
I Need Direction, Teenage Fan Club on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Do keep your suggestions coming in for roles that you'd like to see Karl playing in future editions of that quiz.
This is the most popular competition we've ever done.
Has it got a name yet? Have we come up with a name?
Holly wouldn't.
Okay, brilliant. Well, anyway, we've had some suggestions. Neil Wilson in Bedford, he suggested he'd like to see you, Karl, playing the role of Clyde the Monkey in Every Which Way But Lose.
That'd be great.
And also an excellent suggestion from Lee Gridley in Essex. The obvious role for you is, of course, Dustin Hoffman as Rain Man.
I said that, didn't I?
That's perfect.
That'd be great. Yeah. Just imagine going, okay, you remember, bet 2 for... good, remember, yeah. Well, you've lost again, yeah. That'd be fantastic.
I'm worried that I don't know, it's a bit of a stretch, Karl. Can you play someone who's that clever?
Give it a go.
Yeah.
I want to do Elephant Man.
Okay.
Why, what sort of ideas you got for Elephant Man?
Well, I don't know whether I'd be him or, like, the Doctor.
What would you say if you were the Doctor?
Just like, oh, how you do that? You know what I mean?
How'd you do that?
Yeah. Ooh, look at your head. Have you seen your head?
Or he goes, I'm not an animal. And you go, well,
it's 50-50.
Judging by your head you are.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
It's loads, isn't there?
Yeah.
We'll keep them going in. That's brilliant.
So,
the competitions don't stop there, sadly.
No.
Rockbusters.
Oh, God.
Right, how about, right, we've got this other thing, right, this other music thing.
Yeah.
How about we make that part of it?
How many competitions have you got?
No, well, this is what I'm thinking, right, because we can, if you're not happy with Rockbusters, if we add a little bit to it, and they love the bit I've added, then we can slowly fade it out without them knowing.
That's it, do 2 of your Rockbusters and one of these.
Right?
Are these the prizes, Karl?
They're the prizes.
Well, let's do the prizes.
Let's quickly go through them then.
Yeah.
Alright, what have we got here?
Let's speed this up, because I'm dropping off now.
Yeah,
I think
I'm already
it's
pretty bored.
either warm in here, or this isn't the most scintillating conversation we've ever had.
Okay, firstly, there's a CD here. It's tracks that were sampled by various artists, including Jay-Z, Happy Mondays, and so on. It's the original versions. That might be quite good fun.
Sure.
I Love You. We see it's a number of love songs.
Yeah.
You've got Blue featuring Elton John on there.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
Some greats there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Retro Dance Masters.
Oh, yeah.
That's another CD. Dance tracks, obviously, on there. Oh, it's still knocking about. The Best Air Guitar Volume 2.
Sure.
Rubbish. This is quite good though. It's Paul Whitehouse's TV show Happiness. That's the first series on DVD. We've also got Stephen Polyakoff's The Lost Prince. You could have that in your collection. Probably never watch it, but it might look like you're slightly classy and arty. And
Is it subtitles?
the best one-hit wonders album in the world ever. You got stuff on there like Nena, 99 Red Balloons, and M's Pop Music. So not that bad a selection actually this week. He's cut out some of the chaff.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So
right, here we go.
then.
Rockbusters.
Rockbusters, first one. We'll do 2 of these, and I'll play something in a minute. Right, first one. The Australian picks 2 blokes.
What?
The Australian picks 2 blokes.
The Australian picks 2 blokes.
The initial?
Yeah, the initial E. Right. And the second one, that builder's a
I've
bit...
got that already. It's annoying.
That builder is a bit cute.
He's a bit cute.
Yeah.
Alright.
And that's BT.
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 That builder's a bit cute.
Yeah. And the Australian picks 2 blokes, E. And then what I'm going to do now is play some sound effects that make up a song, and you've got to guess what the song is.
Go on then,
right?
just do it and then
Song
the shot on
Here we go. There you go. So what song's that? It's
Yeah.
sort of an XFM type
Okay,
song,
well, that's
isn't it?
great.
So
Email
the
only.
first, so I should just clarify that the first 2 are band names or artist names, but that's the title of the track that we want there.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
it's
That's
so
right.
confusing. No one's ever going to figure this out.
They will, though. They will.
They'll do it.
Ricky.gervais at XFM.
Hey, listen, we've got the best fans in the world, Steve. Remember that. Remember that. Without them, we ain't nothing.
Yeah.
So, good luck to you.
Do you want to pick a track, Steve?
I'd love to.
I
Have you
want to
got
wear some monkey magic. I want to wear some chimpanzee that. I want to wear some aping around.
We've got that still to come. Look
Oh,
forward to
I
that,
can't believe it. We've got Rockbusters. That film sounds good. And we've got, look at him up in Hollywood. And we've got, like, monkey me, monkey you. We got Gibbon on the horn.
Jesse Naden, this is a great track.
Coldplay, Clocks on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. Right, give me some monkey magic, Karl.
Hang on, we better do the jingle, ain't you?
Oh, chimpanzee that!
Right,
Brilliant.
you'll like this one. What I've found is, found out like a lot of monkeys' names, like that's how I found out about Oliver.
Yeah.
What do you mean you found out a lot of monkeys' names?
Well, there's a lot of monkeys out there, and you think they're just called Monkey and what have you, but they're all given names, right? So this one that I found about, bit of a weird name anyway, it's actually called Crap, its name, right? And...
So, they're not born with those names. It's not like their parents give them those names. You know, they're just chimps.
Yeah. Well, this one, right? And,
It's called Crap.
yeah, I know. Right, but do you know what it's famous for?
What crap?
Yeah.
No.
Go on.
Is it involved with this show?
It's, the first monkey to have its name tattooed on its head.
Yeah, again, I will say not by choice. There is no way that a chimp would go down to Camden Lock and go, are you a registered tattooist? I am, yes. Yeah, it's the cleanest, yeah. Go, okay,
Can I have a look through your book?
Can I have a look through your book? I'm looking for something quite gothic, but, I'd like, you know, what's your name? Crap. Oh, I'm not sure I can do that because you're not drunk, are you? I haven't had a drink. I haven't had a drink. I've had some Mbongo, and that's all. But no. What are you talking about? The first monkey to have its name tattooed on its head. What are you talking about,
There's got
Karl?
to be more information. Don't tell me you're leaving it there. There's got to be more information.
That was it, and then I read it thinking, well, that's weird, because that means there's loads of monkeys with tattoos on their head, if that's the first one.
No, it could be still the only one.
First and only.
Yeah, but would they report that?
But you haven't
What do you
given
mean, would they report it? This isn't the Washington Post you're reading. This is mentalists who do websites about themselves every day.
What? There's got to be a third
Why is
act
that
to that
news?
story.
Why is that news? How did you come across that?
Well, you
First nut monkey with tattoo head, I mean, what are you talking about?
But why did it have its name tattooed on its head?
No, it didn't say that. I mean, yeah, I know, it's mad. But he didn't say why.
Was that enough for you, though? Did you feel satisfied having read that? Did you not have other
I mean,
questions?
there's no way that is in the Guinness Book of Records. There's no way that is cited in the Guinness Book of
I
Records.
just read it as like, what a weird name for a monkey. And then, ooh, you won't have that on your head.
What would be a good name for a monkey?
I don't know, anything but that, really.
Yeah.
Dave.
Ted. But, what do you think of that then?
Well, I don't know what to think about it, because I don't know what you're telling me. I don't know,
You know
Not a
about
monkey,
the
though.
No, I know, but I just was looking at, like, info.
Right.
the
Sort of thing.
5,000-year-old fella who was preserved in a glacier. That one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you find that more fascinating than the monkey?
Well, I know that it's true.
Yeah, it is true, but do you find it more fascinating?
Well, simply because it's true, I find it more fascinating. I can't act on some. If someone anything that's true is more fascinating.
But you see, what I get from the monkey thing, you
Yeah.
go, oh, I wonder if it was happy about that, and
But you accept it straight away. You accept that is true and interesting, and I don't know what that is. I mean, to me, it sounds like a bit of cruelty towards animals.
yeah. You know,
Because
it's fine.
I mean, if that's true, it's disgusting to tattoo a monkey's head. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't do it. If a monkey, if they reported that a monkey went in and got a tattoo and chose it itself and then was riding a Harley Davidson down Camden, I'd go, that is incredible. But I'd really want to see it on the news, and it mustn't be anywhere near the 1st of April. You know what I mean?
I think you've just blown next week's.
Letter to Hermione, David Bowie off Space Oddity album, XFM 104.9. See, I don't know where, I thought you'd sort of learnt a little bit, Carl, what is an interesting fact, and what might just be a mentalist online. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what point we're making here? Why the truth is so much more even a little bit, even something that's just, you know, mild, but is definitely the truth, is so much more interesting than just wish fulfillment of truth. To me, if it starts with there was this ghost, right, it's not interesting. You could say anything. There was this ghost that could turn custard into wine. It doesn't matter. There was this ghost that had 9 heads. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There was this
You know, Carl's looking at you going, there's a ghost that can turn custard into wine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say after that. There's a ghost that can swallow alligators whole. The premise means it's not true to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like people say, you know what, God, right, he's incredible. I go, I'll stop you there. The fact that he can make the earth in 7 days, well, you've lost me already. Do you know what I mean? Whereas someone says something like, you know, a cockroach can live 5 days without a head, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Right.
Do you think when you die, they say, you're a ghost, this is going to amaze you. You can go and you can spook people out.
Yeah.
Do you like custard? Come over here.
No. Well, if you don't, you don't. Do you like wine? Of course I do. Oh, you are gonna love it.
You're gonna love me.
You're gonna love it.
I've lost all my loved ones.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean? It's what your sort of beliefs are based on. Mine are sort of on, I suppose, logic and science, and so I'm amazed by the world and.
So the Iceman, why does that amaze you? What's like, ooh.
Well, they found some part of our preserved past. You know, it's interesting. Again, I'm amazed by anthropology and evolution.
Yeah. It's just that line on its own like that, you know, they found an Iceman is great, but then it went on, and it's going on about, you know, they've had to get different people involved to find out how old it was. Because first of all, the story started off, right, an old fellow on holiday somewhere. Where did they find it? In Sweden or something? And he was walking in the hills, and...
He was walking?
In the hills.
In heels? Was he a transvestite?
In the mountains.
Oh, right.
In the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's walking about, and he sees this body in the snow, and he thinks, oh... So he calls the police up, and they come and have a look, and he goes, oh yeah, it's probably a murder. So then, they dig it up, and find out... He's got hold of a spear in his hand.
Right, and he's dressed like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah. Right.
Then they realise it's probably not a recent murder.
Right.
His knuckles are dragging on the floor. He's a Neanderthal man. They think, hang on, Karl Pilkington.
But when they found out, hang on, it's an old thing.
It's an old thing!
Can it? If it was a murder recent, then you'd go, hang on, how did this happen? Who does he belong to?
Yeah.
But the chances are whoever murdered him is also dead.
5,000 years ago, probably, yeah.
So leave it. Just bury it.
I don't think it's a murder investigation.
No, but they are.
It's not Quincy going, this was before my time.
It's not a murder investigation.
Yeah, just one thing bothers me, sir. Just one final thing. My wife loves you, but, this guy,
This guy.
That's how they were
Why
treating
would he
it.
have a spear
Yeah.
and a leopard skin? I just can't. I can't get over this.
What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
What are you saying? Right, shut up, everybody. What are you saying? You've got one chance now. You've got to ask me a question, and I will answer it the best way. But what are you saying? What is your question?
Right, he probably spent a load of money.
That's
trying
not
to
a
sort
question.
out-
That's not a
Yeah,
question.
but let me tell you what I'm saying, right? They're probably spending a load of money finding out stuff about this fella who died. And even if he wasn't murdered, he'd be dead by now anyway. So get over it, right? 3,000 years ago, he died, right? So then they start messing about with it, saying, well, how did he die? Well, it doesn't matter. It was ages ago. Then they start digging his belly open, seeing last meal that he ate.
Yeah.
Oh, he ate seeds and leaves. Well, no surprise, really. There's now else around. Again, spending more money. Someone's been paid money to sort that out. Then they bury him, and then said, hang on a minute, are you sure that he died by, like, a spear? Let's dig him up again. So they dig him up again, and find some splinter or something.
I don't believe they buried him.
They did. Well, in some sort of fancy coffin so everyone can see him. But for me, that is more wasteful than sorting out something that's, you know, like someone who's ill. Sort something out, you know.
No, sorry, it's not either or. They didn't put a doctor out of surgery.
Exactly. It's not an old man in a bed in a corridor somewhere.
Yeah,
going,
Ted, what are you doing?
stomach?"
I'm just giving this bloke a stat clear. No, look, we found an old fella in a skit. Okay, okay, you take over. It's not either or, Carl. What are you talking about? It's scientific research.
But don't you see why this is fascinating? It gives us an insight into how we lived 3,000, 5,000 years ago. That's an incredible historical document.
Wonder if he was your equivalent. Wonder if he was like the Carl of the time, and there's people, you know, ghosts now through that going, oh God, you don't believe, I don't believe it. They've dug up Carl. They think we're all like that. Oh no, oh no, they're going into his brain now. They're looking at how his brain works. We're gonna get such a bad rep. Oh
well,
dear.
Each to their own. If you like it, I just thought it was a bit of a
waste of money.
a little bit of a waste.
Yeah. Okay.
But there you go. Anyway, we'll give out the answers to Rockbusters next.
If we must.
Yeah.
It sometimes stuns me. Sometimes I'm taken aback. Do you know what I mean?
But what worries me is if one day aliens do visit.
I'd love
and
that.
they come down, yeah. But what worries me is they might bump in. What if they bump into you? What if they bump into you and they think that you represent mankind?
And they go up and they start another planet.
They can they say, we'll ask you 3 questions, and if you answer them correctly, we will not blow up your planet.
Yeah.
We'd be doomed.
It depends.
It depends what they ask you, don't they? What if they said, right, Carl, what's the weirdest thing ever found in China?
I say hairy Chinese kid.
And they go, right.
Okay, interesting.
2, alright?
What don't you see anymore?
What do you see an old bloke doing?
Don't see an old fella eating a Twix.
Yeah. And they say, what if they asked you, what's across the road from you when you're washing up?
Well, there's 3 things. Do you just want one of them?
No, I want all 3.
You want all 3? There was a Chinese kid dancing about in his underpants.
Yeah.
There was a bouncer every night getting ready to go to work. And the 3rd one, the old woman reading a book, the same book.
And they go, right, your planet's saved. See,
Gorg, back in the ship.
Yeah,
they are a superior race.
M&M. Alright, the second one. That builder is a bit cute. The initials there were BT. That was Bonnie Tyler. And then we introduced a new bit to the show. That song sounds alright. These were the effects you heard. And that was Prodigy, Smack My Bitch Up.
Who are you punching there?
And could I just say, no animal was harmed in the taping of that effect.
There you go.
No.
Right, so have you got a winner?
Yes, Rob Preston from Croydon. He has got all 3 correct, and he wins a selection
bag of
shite. Exactly. So, so good luck. Enjoy that, Rob.
If you can.
Yeah.
Sell it. Record and tape exchange within 40 minutes of receiving it. I imagine the one good album that he likes. Bob Dylan on the tracks for all this bag of shite, please. Should we play a record?
Absolutely. Can I just ask now, what are we thinking with Rockbusters? Are we sticking with this, or because I really thought we'd cancelled it?
What about that format we've just done where there's like 2...
This is another off-air discussion, I think.
Well...
I just feel the listeners should be able to contribute.
They do.
Yeah.
They phone in and say, the show's rubbish, move on. can we experiment on Karl? I'm a
Yes.
doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to tattoo on
Would he
Karl's
like a
head.
tattoo? Yeah. Oh dear.
Carl, have you got any tattoos? Have you ever thought about that? Any kind of piercings?
Don't like the idea.
No?
Don't mess with your body and that.
Okay.
He doesn't like the human body. He's scared of it.
But I told you, didn't I, about me uncle
God.
Tattoo Stan. We've talked about that, haven't we?
Yeah. Tattoo
Stan.
Stan. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got loads, and I
Yeah.
think now he sort of, looks in the mirror and think, oh, what have I done?
Yeah.
But then again,
So do you.
I was
With me life, go on.
telling Ricky before about someone who had a tattoo. It's a bit horrible, really, isn't it?
I don't know. I can't remember.
The skin thing.
Oh God. Yeah.
You're not going to tell us it?
Again, I'm hoping it's not true because it's from Karl, but it's pretty disgusting. But yeah, unfortunately, because there's no paranormal or animals acting like humans involved, I think it might be true. It's a fellow who kept his dad's tattoo.
Yeah, he just sort of, when his dad passed away, he got the skin off and put it in a frame.
Who'd you ask to do that?
Oh, man alive.
Ashes to ashes. Sorry. Before we bury it, you don't.
Before we cremate, and I've got a Stanley knife.
Do you do any other services? Like what, my son? I'll just pop some of him in a jar for me. I'm sorry. How do you? I mean, that
I
is.
bought this clip frame from IKEA.
Yeah.
Just slip that between there.
$4.99.
Yeah.
That is
I
all
imagine
right.
your father is a man who's probably appalled by the idea of tattoos, earrings, things like that. I imagine he's quite an old school gent.
He's never sort of said anything, but
If you came back with an earring, what would he have said when you were a youngster?
I never saw him that much as a kid, so I don't think he'd have noticed. My mum would have said, "What have you done that for?"
Yeah.
Our kid had a tattoo, and an earring.
Sorry, is this the one that borrowed a tank from the army to go and get a packet of fags?
Yeah. That's
Well, there you go.
We must tell that story again next week. For
Yeah.
those that are fairly new listeners, that's got to seem tantalising.
Yeah.
Your brother once drove a tank down to the local shops to buy some cigarettes. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's an extraordinary story.
But that's it. We don't
It
have
was
to
that
say-
other auntie you told me about in the week. Not Auntie Nora, the one that farted for 5 minutes, but there's another auntie you talked about. How many aunties have you
I
got?
haven't really got another auntie. I've got me brother,
Yeah,
who I haven't seen in ages.
yeah.
My sister I hadn't seen for about 12 years, then I saw her again, and then she got fed up because I said,
Oh, she had a new
the
kid and you
baby.
went with her all the same. I've seen one, I've seen them all.
yeah,
Imagine saying that to your sister.
Your sister, you haven't seen her for how long?
I hadn't seen her for about 12 years, and then for some reason I met her in a car park in Wales.
Right.
And,
It's incredible, isn't it?
For some reason.
Yeah.
and, she got in the back of the car and she said, "Oh, I want to show you something," right? And, she got this picture out and said, "Look at that." And it was one of my new nieces and nephews. You
It was
can't tell, can
her
you, if it's a
daughter
boy
or her
a girl.
son.
Yeah, or whatever. And, she said, "Look at that." And I said, "Oh." And I sort of said, "Well, there's no point showing it me. All babies look the same, don't
There's
they?"
no point in showing it me. It just takes 2 seconds of your life. You go, oh,
Yeah,
lovely.
right.
That's all you have to do.
If it was a first,
Yeah.
I'd say, oh, I'd show a bit of interest, even though
Do you think the novelty wore off for her with the second kid, third kid?
sixth kid. I think even she should be bored of looking at pictures of babies.
Kind of a woman is she? And can I get her phone number?
Right, is that it then?
Play a tune. Have we got? Is this it?
Yeah,
Have
this
we,
is it.
have
This
we
is
got to
the
wrap it
next
all
one,
up?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
well, I
on.
forgot to bring in a song for the ladies this week, so I thought I'd play a song for people who enjoy the work of Deep Purple.
That run and run.
Here's Deep Purple. See you next week.
Bye.